This is JJD right here on Sunny FM, and I'm seated in the office of Mr. Michael Ohiniafa at Leader Freak, overlooking the streets of Adenta, Snit Flats. We caught up with him and told him, Mr. Fa, we're having feedback from other couples who are saying, you've discussed the ideal situations where mom and dad are home. Some of us are in a relationship where we are separated from our spouses. Some of us are divorced. Some of us are struggling through it. Some of us are still hurt and we are bitter about what happened during our marriages. How can we work around raising our children? How can we work around our relationship as a couple? And so that's what we're discussing in his office today. He also happens to be one of our facilitators together with his wife, Letitia. They will be with us at the couples retreat. So he'll touch on what they'll be sharing with us at Marlin Resort for Couples Retreat. So, Mr. Fa, it's great to be in your office.
Thank you very much for the gargantuan visit.
Always a pleasure. So, we'll first like to start off with you sharing with us the most common challenges. And I know you work with the young children a lot, parents as well. Most common challenges that co-parenting couples face after separation or divorce.
Okay, so let's start off this way. I want to give a bit of a context or background to this conversation. According to our 2021 census, Ghana has about 8.3 million married couples, according to the census. Now, 8.3 million. We have 553,000 divorced people, and then 405,000 separated people. Now, when you put the divorced and the separated people, you are hitting almost 950,000 out of the 8.3. So basically, we are in a country where about 1 in 8 marriages are either divorced or separated. Now, if there were issue or children out of these marriages, then it situates the conversation we are going to have, that 1 in 8 marriages are either divorced or separated in Ghana. Now, from research, 3/4 of the divorce or the separations happen in the first 13 years of marriage, which means that we are dealing with teens who are being tossed around in a separated family, a divorced family. And sometimes, depending upon how the divorce or the separation came about, if it was bitter, rancorous, then these kids are caught between the two parents. Now, when either parent remarries, then they are now moving into a blended family. Now, that's another conversation that we can have at another time. But your question is about how divorced parents, because they are no longer a couple, so how divorced or separated parents can co-parent peacefully and what they must do. Let me issue a disclaimer that I serve as a Sunday school facilitator, and then the work we do, the professional work we do at Leader Freak is also working with children. By God's grace, we get to work with children in sometimes over 100 schools every year, not just in Ghana, but in East Africa as well. And so I'm going to talk about just 3 blocks. One, the mindset that co-parents must have in raising their kids. Then the 10 things they should do and the 10 things they should not do. So mindset, 10 things to do, 10 things not to do, from research and also from the work that we've done with children. So what are the mindsets that co-parents must have to effectively bring up our children who are the seed of Ghana or any nation? And I frame it around just 3. So if you are co-parenting, if you are divorced, handling kids alone, number 1, the mindset that we are separated and divorced, but that should not destroy the lives of our children. I think a lot of parents miss the two. And so they allow the hurt, the bad emotions, and all the stuff between the two of them to interfere with the children's development. and they are not able to sacrifice the ego, the hate, the anger from the bringing up of the children. So if you don't have that mindset, you are destroying two lives, your own and that of the child or the children. So please, your marriage may be over, but the family is not over. And I'll repeat that for emphasis. Your marriage may be over, but your family is not over. We can have ex-husbands and ex-wives, but we can't have experience. So let us operate to the mindset that my personal ego, my personal anger, my personal hate should not interfere with the development of the next generation, which is our children. That's number one, very important. Then the second mindset is to have an open mind and to think about how the children are feeling in the banter, in the court cases, in the divorce proceedings, in the hearings, and in all of that. Do we sometimes stop, pause to reflect on how is this impacting our children? And some throw the children in the middle of their battle. Some take the children to court to be able to say some things so they can get some things. They can secure some properties and some finances and all. And it's all about, I need to hurt her or him as much as he has hurt me. I need to take as much as I can from this before I let go. And in all of that, it is the children who are struggling. So you need to have a mindset that I should not destroy two lives, mine and that of the children. Then the third mindset I want co-parents to have is that being a single parent is not a disability. Because sometimes single parents make their children feel like they are not. You see, the school I went to, some words I cannot have it. They are not pepe. Please, you went to a good school. Can you supply the word for me? So they make the children feel like, there's something wrong with you. Because, especially during school or programs when everybody comes, double, parents, and I'm coming alone as a single wife or a single, my dad. And so, so there's this negative energy that some parents associate with being a single parent. Please, you are a single parent, you are not disabled. And you are a single parent, you are not weird. And we shouldn't let that interfere in the development of the children. The children are okay. You just happen to have broken off a relationship. That does not do anything to your child. So these three mindsets are very important in the conversation. Let me repeat that again. One, that you are separated or divorced, but the children matter. Your marriage is over, but the family is not over. So have that at the back of your mind. Two, keep an open mind and focus on the children in all that you are doing. Do not allow anger, hate, and all those things to interfere in the development of your children. And then the third mindset is to approach single parenting, not from a negative perspective that there's something wrong with my family, or everybody came to the school graduation or the school event and me alone, I came with my dad or my mom, and therefore exactly. Because when you do that, you are sowing the seeds of negative energy and negative emotions, and it's going to follow the children, wherever, because they begin to question themselves. What did I do wrong? How come I don't have a dad? How come I don't have a mom? Why is it that I'm the only one who is the children? And it leads to feelings of worthlessness in adulthood, because that is how one of the parents made them feel when they were growing up. So these three mindsets are key to the conversation.
So now we're going into talking about the 10 things parents who are co-parenting or spouses who are co-parenting should do and should not do. Okay, Mr. Henyefa.
So let's look at the 10 things that co-parents should do. Number one, create a parenting plan. We overlook the importance of some of these things. Now, the parenting plan is looking at how we are going to parent in the light of our reality now, in the light of our circumstances now. And it should just the simple, practical things that we are going to deal with. Put it in a plan so that it will guide the relationship. When does mommy have right to the kids? When does daddy have say? Who visits? When do you visit? For how long? Who gets the kids on vacation? Who gets to travel with them? Who gets to take them to grandmothers, grandfathers? When they come, how many hours, how many days are they staying? But just the practical details, put all of this, agree, and put them in a plan, which will then guide the relationship. So when you do this, you avoid unnecessary drama and conflict because you have already agreed, pre-approved. Who pays school fees? Who pays for living expenses? I mean, we work with schools and we are told stories of people who call the school and tell them, I paid last term, also call their father. This term, I'm not the one paying.
The school is in trouble.
Yes, and schools now have to deal with, couple issues. And some will actually take judgments to school and say, look, this is the judgment from the court. The man is supposed to be the one, I'm not the one. And put this into a plan, so that you avoid unnecessary conflict and drama. Parenting plan, practical issue, very practical. Don't take anything for granted. So that you avoid surprises. You don't want to be there and then tomorrow ex-husband turns up and says, I'm traveling and I want to go with the kids. Or my office is organizing something, I want the kids to come. When it has not been discussed or agreed. Parenting plan. It will save you a lot of headaches. Number 2, make compromises. It's very important, letting go. Well, even when we are a married couple, making compromises is crucial to the sustenance of marriage. How much more divorced or separated? I mean, a lot of people, as I indicated earlier on, fight to the death just to satisfy an ego. And in the course of that fight, they forget the impact on their children. So there are some things that you can let go without losing a strand of your hair. And there are some things that are very important. So choose your fight and decide on what you are going to accommodate, contain, and what you can let go. Now, one of the things that I hold dear is that you cannot unknown somebody. So you can annul a marriage or a relationship, but the fact that you know the person is affable, is forever until the rapture. So, and especially when you have kids between you, graduations are coming, weddings are coming, engagements are coming, namings, and where you have to be in the same room with your ex. How are you going to handle it if you have done everything trying? So just make compromises. If it won't hurt anybody, if it won't kill anybody, let go. And that when your partner even begins to see that you are letting go of something, it reduces their own rigid, attitude towards you, because they know that you have compromised
in that category, separated divorce. So you can send us a message and we will share the link. But I did ask him also what those who are coming for the couples retreat should expect from him and Letitia.
My good friends, we were fortunate enough to be on them. Put hate and anger aside. I mean, whatever occasion the separation or the divorce, you need to once again bear in mind the fact that you are dealing with your seed, which is your children. Now, is your ego worth the destruction of your seed? That's a question I want you to think about and reflect on. And so, please consider the needs of the children. Consider their development aspirations. Consider your own development aspiration for the children, and ask yourself whether your anger, your unresolved hate, your unresolved trauma is worth sacrificing that additional life. And so, please, yes, whatever it is, you may be hurt from what somebody did to you, from what somebody said, and from all of that, but let go. Let go of that. If you need professional help to deal with the trauma, please seek it. But do not, influence, destroy your children's life because of that past hate. There are some bushmen, they will get drunk the night before. In the morning when they drink water, then it charges they, they have a term for it. No, me, I'm a Kubolo boy. They have a term for it where I grew up. It's called Adicheni. Oh. And you know, some marriages are like that. Some unresolved resentment are lurking in the background. And so any little incident recharges, and then it becomes explosive for 2 weeks. We are hurting our children because, you know, and this is how you did and I divorce you, and this is how you did and then it's bringing back all these stored, pent up, unresolved trauma, emotions and stuff, which is going to worry our children. So please, let's note point 3. Now, point 4 is communicate wholesomely and effectively. If the divorce was messy, such that every conversation degenerates into verbal fisticuffs, then devise a plan of communicating through trusted third parties, or get a professional to mediate, to be the middleman. But don't form the habit of insults. I mean, we've had cases where even a phone call is so explosive that one party hangs up, because every little thing leads to something, because, as I said, there's unresolved resentment lurking at the background. Now, you can also have a contact book for when there's contact from the other parent, so that they can note the date, the time, the action, and whatever they did. Maybe I came for the kids who went to the mall for shopping. This was on 13th August. I came for the kids who went to see a movie. You know, it's just for protection and also for future issues. One of the things, so the 5th point is set up a business-like tone. One of the things that can help you to deal with this co-parenting issue is if you treat it as a business. You know, and you work deal with clients at Sunday. You know, sometimes what you write to your clients, not what you actually want to say to them.
Well, sometimes, yeah.
You know, sometimes you really want to give it to them, but when you say, "Oh, hello, sir. Oh, please come have a seat. What can I offer you?" Approach your ex just that. It's a business communication for the future. In this case, the product is the future of our children. So I really feel like saying something to, but I won't, because I know the repercussions and the impact of we just disgracing ourselves in front of the children. So I won't do that. So treat it like that. And the way we are all trained to be nice to customers, train yourself to be nice to your ex, especially when the children are around, so that you don't teach them it is okay to have. I mean, we've heard from schools where parents go and fight. Yes, we've heard from schools where parents go and fight at car parks. We've heard from schools where parents go and steal their children from school, from classrooms. Because they've been denied access and they think the only place they could get these kids are to steal them away. We've heard of parents who had to stop flights because the other parent was traveling with the children. Now, things are happening. Things are happening in this city. Yes. And so that's why the parenting plan is important, so that you can iron out all these things. Number 6, make requests. You know, instead of making statements and demands, sometimes you can frame it as a request so that it does not ignite or tip off your ex. So instead of saying, "I want to see the children this weekend," but there's things like what they will eat for dinner, things like what movie you want to watch on the weekend. Just those little actions, you'll be amazed at the impact of those actions, because all of a sudden you are giving back or letting these children feel like, oh, after all, there are some things that I have control over in mind. I mean, I don't have control over where, for instance, I'll spend my vacations, but at least I can control the movie. I can control what we eat for dinner. Exactly. And so you begin to build back that sense in the child. Number 8, accept different parenting styles. So what happens is, especially if one of the parents have remarried and the children have to juggle between the other one who is not married, the other one who is now married. So the child is now moving from a co-parenting single home to a blended family, all in the space of 2 months. And he's seeing different temperaments, different behaviors, different characteristics, different relationships, different dynamics, all in the space of, say, a week. Now, remember that if your ex has moved on, you may not entirely control their parenting style. So it's okay. Don't fight, as I said earlier, compromise. It's part of the compromise. Don't fight everything. I mean, and you and your new wife, and then when they come, you let them do everything they want. When they are here, they don't watch movie. They must be studying. When they come there, no. Every style is different. In fact, what you end up doing for your child is that they get this new parenting. So they see how you manage them. They see how their new family is behaving. What you are doing is actually helping them to, get the two different parenting perspectives. So don't try and force your parenting style on your ex. And this one is the gender whose grandmother is Eve. I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention.
Provide the name because I don't know.
So let's keep it there. They tend to, that gender tend to want their wishes, their parenting style to be embraced by everybody. But remember that everybody is different. I mean, your ex might not parent the way you want, but if it is not that bad, I mean, if for instance your ex is the permissive parent and is allowing them to eat anything, to do anything, and you think it will injure or impair your children, then of course you can try and step in. But if it is just a stylistic difference, then let it go. Don't fight everything. Simply because you wouldn't do it doesn't mean you can control what is being done by your ex. And it's the same way. Some of the men who are too hard and brutal, you must beat the boy. Even after divorce, they still want to dictate what their ex-wife should do. You must beat him. He asks for children. If you don't do that, they will spoil. And want to dictate how the ex-wife should now rear or manage parenting as far as their children are concerned. So accept these differences. These differences actually help children as they grow. As I said, provided it doesn't cross some boundaries and some red lines. Don't foist your parenting style on your ex. What you do is you create more resentment and you are going to resurrect dead issues. Then number 9 is ensure co-parenting consistency. One of the things that help children to grow well is consistency, certainty. Children grow up well when there's certainty and consistency. And so part of your parenting plan is to provide as much as both of you can, consistency and certainty for the children. They know that they spend weekends in daddy's house. Though they spend weekends in mommy's house. They know they spend holidays outside. They know they spend holidays with grandmother A or grandmother B. Provide that in the parenting plan so that what you will hurt your children psychologically if there's a lot of what's the word? A lot of uncertainty as far as the children are concerned. Tomorrow you young them, another day somebody shows up. We are Friday after school. They are just trying to say that. Then one ex shows up. We are going according to the judgment. You are supposed to spend this weekend with me. A holiday is coming. You will hurt these children. Yes. So agree. Holidays. Where would they be? Founders Day. Something. Christmas, Easter. Where? Are they going to grandmother A, grandmother B? Are they staying with you? Are they traveling outside the country? Are you going on a trip alone with them? They need that structure. And if one parent is coming to take them, at least give a week's notice so that the other can prepare them mentally and psychologically for the change. But the yanking and taking them, and we've heard of cases where the ex will call the woman and say, I've registered them for this program. So please, from Monday, I've paid, take them. Exactly, and we'll WhatsApp a receipt. When you go show them this receipt, no discussion, nothing. As a friend of mine will say, no nothing.